All right, in this video, I'm going to go ahead and bring everybody up to speed with what's going on with all the hype with Iran, Israel, and the whole freaking Donald Trump administration, politics, that this whole thing with how it's playing out right now, all right? So it's a big topic in the news, right? Everywhere on X. I mean, X, the number one news platform in the world right now, phenomenal that it is. You can actually get media because in Israel right now, they've shut down media. They're censoring media everywhere. The people of Israel are getting shut down. Thank God for X. People can go on there and they can communicate with each other and get trends. So here's what's going on. 2 days ago, right around 2 days ago, I said that watch. It may have been maybe a little over 24 hours ago. I said watch. Donald Trump is going to rug pull Israel. He's going to rug pull them. I said that. On my X, it was timed. About 12 hours after that, he came out and says that he's going to need 2 weeks to think about it before he considers going and supporting Israel or in anything over there against Iran. He's going to need to think about it for 2 weeks. Now, backtrack a little bit, okay? There's something much bigger going on here than what people think. And how, if we could just put politics aside and just that we're all on the same page that we do not want war, all right? Nobody wants anyone getting killed. At least I can imagine everybody watching this, right? I'm concerned about people just going out and shooting people, dying, innocent people dying. That's just the last thing that I want, anybody I think wants. So we're all on the same page, right? Nobody wants that. All right, so with that goal in mind, how do we get there? How do we make sure that we get there, right? So that's really, think about it, that's the goal. So now you got these guys out there. They're trying to fight each other. You got Iran and Israel. They hate each other. Nothing to do with us. Nothing to do with us out here in the U.S. for the most part, right? But they hate each other, and it's kind of out of our control. But what we do have a problem with here in the States is massive corruption. When I mean corruption, it's actually legal. We call it lobbying in Congress. And so these people out in specifically, mostly Israel, they've got PACs, and they actually will lobby the congressman, and he's got his own little flag that he hangs up there, and he's with this AIPAC group for Israel. So he's bought and paid for. Ted Cruz, for example. Most everybody in Congress. I mean, there's a few, of course, good ones that are not. Massey, Gosar, the man. Massey, the man. Others, there are others. But for the most part, they're all bought and paid for. So what's happening right now is we're trying to shake off all that lobby, because that's really wrong. We shouldn't be having foreign lobby over here. We're trying to shake it all off. And so what's been happening is people like Ted Cruz goes on the Tucker Carlson podcast and he says, oh yeah, we're supporting bombing Iran. We're doing it. And Tucker says, wait a second. The White House just said we have nothing to do with that. And Ted Cruz backs up a little bit. Well, we support it. Now, he is absolutely bought and paid for by Israel, right? Ted Cruz. Conservative guy supporting Donald Trump, but still bought and paid for. So he has to say that. Now, the goal, think the goal. The goal is complete peace. We do not want people dying. Just forget about politics and religion right now. I'm just saying the goal is nobody having complete peace. Nobody die. Peace. All right? It's a really tricky situation. So, now, you've got, just a few days ago before I made that call that Donald Trump was going to rug pull Israel, he came out and says, he'd been coming out for 60 days saying Iran must surrender its nukes. It must have no nukes. That was the goal. Absolutely none. 61st day comes out, and Barnes on Viva Barnes absolutely went nuts. He went off. And Barnes is a really sound voice, right? He's super sound. Great attorney. He was Wesley Snipes' attorney when he won against the IRS. And he goes off on Trump. And I mean, he was like, dude, this is the wrong thing to do. You need to stay out of this. And he wasn't reading into the situation. Barnes wasn't. Because Trump's saying, well, he's going to support bombing Iran. He was saying he's supporting it. Watch out. You guys should evacuate, he says. Evacuate the city in Iran. Then, boom, Israel starts sending missiles over there. Then Iran, okay, then shortly thereafter, I said, watch, he's going to rug pull Israel. Then what happens next? Iran sends missiles over to Israel, bombs a hospital. Okay? Trump then says a few hours later, oh, I need 2 weeks to think about it. We're going to do some negotiations with Iran. 2 weeks. Oh, people are thinking, watch out, 2 weeks from now. No, that was a rug pull. Because he was just at 61 days, time had passed. He was saying he was going to support Israel on this. And now all of a sudden, he wants 2 weeks. Now what's going to happen next? All right? Israel only got a few options. Militarily, they're extremely weak. They cannot take on a big country like Iran. And because of that, they have to create this narrative of weapons of mass destruction in Iran again. Same thing as what they did with Iraq. Remember? They put it out there. We all remember 20 years ago. I didn't know any better. Weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. And everybody got behind them, and everybody went over there, fought, died, bloodshed, spent trillions of dollars. Same people, same guy, Netanyahu, same guy. Now he says the same exact thing. Now it's Iran. Iran has weapons of mass destruction. They're going to nuke the place. No real proof of it, just kind of on information and belief. Now, the intelligence inside the White House has said that Iran does not have nuclear weapons capability. That came out from what's her name? Not known, but the director of national intelligence. Anyway, so they're saying it doesn't happen, but of course Israel says they have it. Now the goal again is peace, and the other benefit of the goal and the other goal is make just America first, right? Just America first, not Israel first, not Iran first, none of that stuff. So that's another side keeping it in mind. Well, by backing Israel and then all of a sudden rug pulling him and not supporting him, now Israel's vulnerable. Now they're going at each other over there with Iran and Israel. Iran's much stronger. Only thing Israel can do is set off a nuke. If they do that, Pakistan's going to come in and go after and just annihilate Israel overnight. They're gone. So is Pakistan. It's just, they're absolute over. So they know that's not a good option. So what happens yesterday? Pakistan military leader comes into the White House and has a private indoor closed door meeting. So that's going on. So we know something's being planned out there with Pakistan yesterday. Make sure that they don't do something crazy, right? Because that's exactly what they would do. If Israel did something really bad, Pakistan would retaliate immediately on them. But there's some sort of meeting or deal happening right there yesterday, so that doesn't happen. So now where does that leave Israel? Israel's coming up here, and they're running out of firepower within a week. I would say about the 25th, they'll be out of firepower. They won't be able to set off any more of these missiles. Their little Iron Dome thing is not working. They got a hospital got taken out yesterday. So now all of a sudden, they're in a really weak position. And all these people in Congress, Ted Cruz and others, all of a sudden they're looking like egg on their face. They're getting the rug pulled on them. And all of a sudden, Israel's not getting supported by the White House. That's what's about to happen. And peace will come through this. Because these two, Iran's going to come to the table. Israel thinks, Israel's always been taken care of. They always get all the funding. I mean, they do all the lobbying. So they get taken care of for the most part by the U.S. But that's about to change. Because Donald Trump wasn't taking lobbying money from those people in Israel. Now, other people in Congress, everybody else was, but he wasn't. So he doesn't need to support them. He's not bribed to pay them. He doesn't need to support Israel. He's about America first only. So that's what's about to happen. You're going to see the whole rug get pulled out from them. All the neocons in Congress are going to get exposed. And we'll be able to start seeing who's taking the most amount of lobbying from all these people in Israel overseas. Ted Cruz and others. Dude, I think these are great people in politics, but taking money from foreign lobby should be completely I mean, I think it is unconstitutional. It's called the emoluments clause. The emoluments clause says you cannot do that. So I don't know what provision they're under to allow them to say, oh, we'll take money and bribes from Israel. Emoluments clause, that's unconstitutional. They should be impeached. Motion for impeachment, even if we have to remove 99% of people in Congress, so be it. Start over, you know. Better to have that than people taking bribes, emoluments from other places. All right, so that's what's about to happen. We're going to have a housekeeping. Well, I'm not going to say that the housekeeping is going to happen. That's a long shot. But we will see the rug pull on Israel, and we're going to see peace through both of those countries, Iran and Israel and Pakistan. Everybody's going to have peace. Nobody's going to fight. And the bottom line, the U.S. is not going to be involved. That's the kicker. And a lot of people are saying, oh my gosh, we're going to go to war, U.S. Dude, not a chance. This is all bluff, man. I'm just letting you know this is what it is. It's poker. You guys ever heard of poker? Bluff? No? Okay. That's what's going on. It's all bluff. Not that there isn't firepower available to the U.S. to do something. It's I guess a bluff isn't the right word. Like the cards are all there, but they're not going to they're not going to be played. There's not going to be any war. There's not going to be any conflict. I mean, you see some, I'm sorry, but the U.S. is not going to be involved. So watch. That's my call, and you're going to see it unfold. More to come. All right, I just wanted to get that off my chest because it's it's a complicated issue, and it's hard to kind of like pick it up and read about all the feeds and all the stuff that's happening. But I think I've enough of experience reading the law and working with some of the guys in Congress a little bit, and shout out to Josh Reed and the Red Pill Project. I think he's probably a walking savant, encyclopedia on being able to see multiple moves ahead on how things are all playing out. I guess he just studies this stuff all day long. So shout out to him mainly. And I'm going to have him back on because he's the man. All right, so that's it. Check it out. Leave a comment. Helps the channel. Hit the ones. My name's Gavin. I'll see you at the top.